Hello, everybody. Welcome back to part two of the Moot Court series. Um, so today we will be talking about the memorial and its contents and um, uh, what are the things that need to be included in a Moot Court memorial. How are certain uh, pages supposed to be looking like, and how are certain uh, indexes of authorities and the content and the index is supposed to be looking like. I will just be sharing my screen and we can take it from there. Okay, so so this is video two of series, Moot Court series. This video will be talking about the memorial and its content. Um, so let's begin. First of all, research is the most important part of any moot court preparation. Research is never ending, not even on the day of the moot. However, the formatting of your memorial is super important, and many people tend to forget that, which is why the memorial scores are the reasons for low team ranks. Also, there's a reason why there's an award for the best memorial. Now, um, research is and will always be the most important part before the actual rounds start of any moot court competition. And research never ends. No matter how prepared you are, there will always be something more you can research on. But sadly, you will have to stop yourself after a certain point because otherwise you will just keep researching and the moot court competition will also get over and you will not be able to focus more on the other aspects of the moot court and you'll just be focusing on research. But the formatting of your moot court memorial is also very important, and most moot court competitions have an award or have a prize for the best memorial. And most people have low team scores because of the fact that their moot court memorial was not properly drafted or not properly formatted or not properly um, sent to the researchers, basically. So moving on, what are the rules for a memorial, or what are certain things that you need to be keeping in mind while you're drafting your memorial or while you're drafting your moot court memorial? Now, memorial is created according to the rules and regulations of the respective moot court competition with perfect formatting. Yeah, with perfect formatting is what makes it a good memorial, along with good research, of course. Now, a memorial is again created according to the rules and regulations of the hosting institution. Now, the hosting institution usually gives us rules and regulations, PDF or like um, or they give like a brochure which specifies their rules and regulations. Now you need to follow those rules and regulations if they have certain way of citation that they want, or if they have a certain font that they prefer that you use, if they have certain alignment, uh, that they want you to use, certain line spacing that they want you to use. All of those are usually mentioned in the rules and regulations of the respective moot court competition. And you also need to be really good at formatting. And obviously, you have good research. I mean, moot court memorial starts with the research and ends with the formatting. So once you're done with your research, you put all your research, you concise your research, and finally, at the end of it all, you format your entire memorial. Some people prefer to do it as you go, like as you finish one page, people format, but a lot of other people also there's another side to this where people format at the very end, like they will draft the whole thing and then they will start formatting it one by one. And yeah, so as I already mentioned, the rules and regulations of a moot court prep is you need to always be reading those very carefully. Um, you usually end up losing marks if the prescribed font size, line spacing, etc., alignment, etc., is not followed. And the citation should be as per guidelines. Um, so if it mentions a blue book and you use the Oscar, you know, citation method, or you use some other citation method, marks will definitely be deducted for that. So for that particular reason, the rules and regulations of the particular moot court competition need to be read thoroughly so that you know what kind of citation you want to use, what you have to use, what font you need to use, what font size you need to use, how your line spacing must be, what alignment must things be, where what are the things you need to put in bold, um, what are the how you need to present your case laws in the memorial, etc. All of those are mentioned in the rules and regulations of the moot court memorial. So moving on, what are the contents of a moot court memorial? Now there are about 10 things that need to be part of your memorial. First one is the cover page. Now, okay, so I will be explaining you each of the contents in the subsequent slide. So I will just go through them really quickly. There is a cover page, there is a table of contents, there's a table of abbreviation, there is an index of authorities, statement of jurisdiction, then you have the statement of facts, the issues raised, you have the summary of arguments, the arguments advanced, and then the prayer. This is usually how a moot court memorial looks like. Now, explaining each of these uh, contents. Firstly, the cover page. A cover page consists of the name of the moot court competition, the court before which the parties are appearing, and the names of the parties, and whether you are the plaintiff or the defendant, and your team code and every detail that they want you to mention, like your names. I mean, most moot court competitions don't ask for your names; they just ask for your team code. Your team code, whether you're representing the plaintiff or the defendant or the petitioner or the respondent, what is your rank of parties, what are your names of the parties, before which court you are approaching to get the relief that you are seeking. Then you also need to write the name of the moot court competition, and you need to write the case number. You need to write the uh, any other relevant information needs to be all put in the cover page. Secondly, the table of contents. It is basically like an index, but you title it as table of contents. It lists all of the contents in your memorial. So, if it is including the table of abbreviations, index of authorities, you have your citations, you have your statements, you have your index, you have statement of jurisdiction, you have statement of facts, you have issues, you have arguments advanced, you have summary of arguments, and all of those are basically mentioned as like it's basically like an index. So that is the format that is usually used in table of contents, unless it is specifically mentioned that you don't use that particular format and you use a format which the hosting institution gives you. Nextly, there is table of abbreviations. So table of abbreviations lists all the abbreviations used throughout your memorial, including in your footnote. For example, para stands for paragraph. ED stands, sorry about that. ED stands for editor, and so on and so forth. Now, for example, you can't keep right, like there are memorials where there are a lot of abbreviations, and there are memorials where there are as less abbreviations as possible. But it is preferred that you do use abbreviations, but not to the extent that your whole memorial is filled with abbreviations. Abbreviations are basically short forms. Um, for example, the Honorable Supreme Court. If you need to write that, you can just write HON. apostrophe BLE and SC. Now, what the SC means, you need to write in your table of abbreviation. Another example I can give you is, as is mentioned in the slide, paragraph. If you want to mention paragraph, you can even you can start mentioning PARA, and you can put that word in the table, and you can write what it abbreviates to, or what is the full form of that particular word. Moving on, we have index of authorities. Um, Index of authorities is like a bibliography, where um, all the cases you have used are cited, all the books that you've referred are cited, all of the reports, all the statutes that you've referred to and that you've used, and any other material, be it online material, be it um, you've used some website and you've gotten certain material. All of that needs to be mentioned in your index of authorities. Anything and everything basically which has been used to prepare your memorial needs to be mentioned in the index of authorities. Moving on, we have statement of jurisdiction. Now, this is usually the first point of your memorial, wherein it is a proclamation of the jurisdiction of the court where the petitioners have filed the case. It is important that this is included and is correct for maintainability of the case filed. Now, statement of jurisdiction is basically you are telling the court that, okay, you are the authority to adjudicate this particular case. You are the authority to basically take over this case and dispose of this case in the manner that is deemed right in the court of law or deemed right in the legal practice. Um, so that is something you need to mention regardless of whether you are the petitioner or the respondent. Um, it's usually statement of jurisdiction is usually specifically for the petitioner's case, but some uh, moot court competitions require you to have statement of jurisdiction for both the parties. Again, you need to refer to the rules and regulations of that particular institution for to know whether you need to include statement of jurisdiction for both the petitioners as well as the respondents. Now, moving on to statement of facts. Now, these are facts of the proposition. Now, what the proposition is the problem that you get before you start drafting your memorial. Now, these are a statement of facts include those facts that um, important and relevant to your case. Now, for example, you're the petitioner. You will not want to include facts and any kind of information that is beneficial for the defendant. Um, so usually you omit those. You stick to the facts. Uh, you stick to the facts which you think are super important for you, or you stick to the facts which you think will help you in your arguments and in your issues, etc. Now, the facts of the proposition you wish to include will vary depending on whether you're the plaintiff or the defendant. Now, there are, for example, uh, A is A is a teacher in ABC University, and A is also a mother of two children. Now, this might be important when in case A is the accused or A is the petitioner, you will in your if you're making the statement of facts for party B, you will not include all these information about party A. You will start with your party B, where you say, okay, party B is a respectable citizen of the society. He's 47 years of age. Um, he has been in the business of manufacturing blah 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 for a period of over 20 years. So he's a respectable man in the society. So all of these you need to include. It will fluctuate depending on whether you're the plaintiff or the defendant. If you're the plaintiff, you write facts and statements which are relevant to your case. That is, if you are the plaintiff, facts and circumstances which are beneficial for you. And if you're a defendant, facts and circumstances which are beneficial for you. Now, moving on, there are issues raised. Now, these include the contentions for the proposition, and they are usually mentioned in the first post itself. Um, so, how to deal with a moot proposition is something which I have explained in the first video. Please go back and refer to that video. Now, issues raised include the contentions of the propositions. Now, these issues are usually mentioned in the in the problem itself or in the moot court proposition itself. So those are the issues that you need to basically be answering, and those are the issues that you need to keep in mind before you start making your moot court memorial. Now, summary of arguments is like a basic. It's usually a one or two paragraph arguments where you state you basically just give an overview of your arguments in brief. Um, then you have your arguments advanced where you explain each of your issues. A huge chunk of your explaining the facts and explaining the issues with cases, reports, facts, statutes. You have your online material. Everything is included in your arguments at hand. Now, the more legal cases or the more legal diction that you use, the stronger your argument will be. Now, the summary of arguments is like a brief, but your argument advance is your whole chunk. Like you're explaining everything, and these are divided into issues. So every issue will have a summary of arguments and an arguments advanced. So depending on that, you need to, split your issues into um, summary of arguments and arguments advanced. Then you have the prayer. Now that is what you are basically seeking for, what you approach the court for. Now, prayer is one of the most important parts of a memorial, and it is also super important during the oral rounds. It consists of what you are seeking from the particular court, or what relief you're expecting from the particular court, or what the decision of the court, or what you would want the decision of the court to be. Now, this is something you need to keep in mind when the prayer is being said by either of the individuals. You need to stand. You need to stand and you need to acknowledge that, okay, this is what they want, and um, this is this is what they kind of need, I guess.